we will see the third method of code division multiple access. What I suggest is everyone should have a pen and paper or pencil or paper, whatever it is, because today's session will involve a lot of calculations. Okay, so this particular section requires a lot of calculations. So please get pen and paper or pencil or paper, whatever writing device you have. So I give you exactly 1 minute to get that. Okay. And calculator is not needed because these calculations are fairly very simple. Okay.
So now I'll check global connected, then again I'll do that, right?
Well, hopefully everybody has got the pen and paper. Yes, can I hear some answers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So here CDMA, which is code division multiple access, was actually designed, way back in somewhere around 70s and 80s, and you had some initial phones also based on CDMA, with requiring no SIM card in it. Generally, Reliance gave this kind of facility, so that was being used. So phone without SIM card kind of thing. So this was there. And basically CDMA differs from frequency division multiple access because FDMA uses a single channel, but which single channel, only one frequency, which occupies the entire bandwidth of the link, and this what I meant to say, TDMA, all the stations can send data simultaneously, time division multiple access, but code division multiple access is something like one channel carries transmissions from all the stations simultaneously. It's a scenario code division multiple access that if you want to give analogy, I can say that suppose a party is going on in a big hall, and there are people speaking different languages, say somewhere around 45 languages, and each what I meant to say, a set of people who speaking different language, you got the idea, they will form a group, small groups they will form, and then start speaking in their own language. You got the idea. And you will see a lot of background noise is there. That means if suppose 40 languages are being spoken in a single room by a small groups of people, what will happen, remaining 39 languages are being spoken, which are noise for these people, but then still this small subset of group understand their own language. Suppose 4 people are speaking Bengali and remaining 39 people are speaking languages like Telugu, Hindi, Marathi, English, French, and all kind of languages they are speaking, but these Bengali people literally will not get disturbed by anyone. You got the idea. So noise carries no meaning over here, they will understand their own language, right? So similarly, people who are a group of 5 people who are speaking Marathi, they will not get disturbed by remaining 39 people, whatever they are speaking. It's a noise for them, but still they understand. So code division multiple access was developed in this kind of scenario, I mean to say, with this kind of scenario. So what happened? Yeah. So now for our example, we take assuming that 4 stations are connected to the same channel, and now we will what I meant to say, make certain assumptions. We make certain assumptions. So we have 4 stations which want to transmit their data. You got the idea, through a single channel, but in coded form. So assuming that data from station 1 is taken as D1, you got the idea, data from station 1 is taken as D2, station 2 is taken as D2, station 1 is taken as D1, station 3 is taken as D3, and station 4 is taken as D4. So these are the, what I am going to say, data generated by station 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. And the code assigned, now I'll assign the code to each of what I'm into say station. Say first station will have code C1, second station will have code C2, third station will have code C3, fourth station will have code C4, right? And uh, these codes called as chip codes, basically these are called as chip codes. If they are multiplied, I mean to say two different chip codes, that is chip code from station 1 is multiplied to chip code from station 2, I should get a 0. But if we multiply, chip code from the same station, C1 into C1 will always give me 4. C1 into C2 will be giving me 0. C2 into C3 will be giving me 0. C3 into C4 will be giving me 0. So chip codes, if I multiply two different chip codes, I'll be always getting the result as 0. And if I multiply the same chip code with itself, like C1 multiplied with C1, I'll get 4. C2 multiplied with C2, I'll get 4, like that. So this is the basic concept. Now let us understand what is the phenomena over here, how exactly the stations are transmitting the data. Am I clear over here? Stations are transmitting the data. So suppose this is station 1, which is having data D1 to send. You got the idea? And it uses the chip code C1. It uses the chip code C1. So C1 is multiplied with D1. I'll explain how C1 can be multiplied with D1. Similarly, station 2 has data D2 to be sent across this common channel, and it multiplies its data with chip code C2, with chip code C2. Am I clear over here? Chip code C2. So D2 C2 is the final code, and D1 C1 is the final code from station 1. And similarly, D3 is the data from station 3, and its code is chip code is C3. When I multiply D3 with C3, I get this final code. Similarly, with station 4, I'll get C4 D4. And this data from all the stations are what I'm saying added together. And this goes across the channel. I mean to say D1 C1 plus D2 C2 plus D3 C3 plus D4 C4 goes across the channel. Am I clear over here? This is transmitted across the channel. So all these codes are summed together. This is the sum. So if 5 stations are there, 6 stations are there, it's the same scenario. Every station will have data belonging to it. Every station will have a chip code assigned to it. I'll be multiplying, for getting the code from the station, I'll be multiplying the data with the chip code assigned for the station, and like this. So if 10 stations are there, same scenario. So some will contain 10 of DICI, where I is equal to 1 to 10 kind of scenario will be there. So have you understood this scenario, everyone? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this is what I just wanted to say. So this is there. Now suppose I want to recover the chip code. Yeah, sorry. Suppose data, I want to send what I meant to say mm, across the channel, and suppose station 3 wants to recover, station 3 wants to hear what data has been sent by station 2. Station 3 wants to hear what data has been sent by station 2. So what it will do is, it will take the result sum, you got the idea, multiply it by chip code C2 of station 2. So it will get a value, you got the idea, value which if I divide by 4, I'll be getting data value D2. How it comes, I'll explain. So what it will be doing, suppose D4 wants to hear from station D1. So how it will be, recovering the data part which is being sent, which is being carried by this particular sum, which, central sum what is there, which is passing through the common channel. And, D1 wanted to, station 1 wanted to send data to station 4. So how station 4 is going to recover data sent by station 1. So what it will do is, it will take this entire sum value, and multiply it with the chip code of station 1. Chip code of station 1 and whatever result comes, it will be divided by 4, and I have recovered the data from station 1. This will see by solving example. Okay, so this is how and how the chip sequences are designed. So basically C1 and C2 are given by this. C1 is taken as plus. I'll also tell you the method of getting these chip codes. These are not randomly picked values. No, they are very carefully selected values, and these are called orthogonal sequence. How it comes as orthogonal sequence, I'll tell. When you multiply C1 with C2, the end result you will be getting, you got the idea, as 0. End result you will be getting as 0. Simply, if you want to check this, what you do is you multiply corresponding terms and add the entire result. So plus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. Yes, this plus 1 here, and plus 1. Plus 1 into plus 1, I'll get plus 1. Plus 1 minus 1, I'll get minus 1. So plus 1 minus 1. So here, if I use a pen, so I'll be getting, you can see, if I multiply these two, you got the idea. If I multiply these two, so what I'll be getting, plus 1, this plus 1 multiplied by this plus 1, so equal to, you got the idea, equal to, I'll be getting as, you got the idea, plus 1. Now next is plus 1 minus 1. Second, this, you got the idea, and this second, so this is minus 1. And then this plus 1 multiplied with plus 1, so I'll be getting a plus 1. You got the idea, I'll be getting a plus 1. And this plus 1 and minus 1 will be resulting in minus 1. You got the idea. So the end result, when you see plus 1 minus 1 is 0, plus 1 minus 1 is 0. So total result is 0. So hence, since they will be after multiplication, you got the idea, they will be generating a value called as 0, and hence these are called as orthogonal sequence. Now the second concept I told you, that if this code is multiplied with itself, C1 is multiplied with itself. So C1 is given as, you got the idea, C1 into C1. Let us see the result of C1 into C1. So C1 into C1 will be nothing but this particular bracket. So I have plus 1. You got the idea, I have plus 1 here. Then I have plus 1 here. You got the idea, plus 1 here. Then I have a plus 1 here, right? And plus 1 here. You got the idea, plus 1 here. So this is to be multiplied by itself. This is to be multiplied by itself. So I have, plus 1. I have plus 1. Then again plus 1, right? Then again plus 1. Then again plus 1. Okay, then again plus 1. And if I multiply them together, I will get the result as 4. So plus 1 into this plus 1, you got the idea, will give me plus 1 plus. Now this plus 1 into second plus 1, they are distant. Here it is looking as plus 1 plus 1. No, there is a gap like this. There is a gap everywhere. There is a gap everywhere. So the second, what I meant to say, this thing will be multiplied by second. You got the idea? So this is plus 1. Then third will be multiplied with third set. So this is again plus 1, right? And fourth will be multiplied with fourth. So I'll be getting plus 1 again. So the end result will always be equal to 4. You can check if you want, you can check with this result also. You got the idea? If the number is multiplied with itself, a chip code is multiplied by itself, I'll be always getting 4. I'll be always getting 4. So have you understood this concept? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So here, that is why it is called orthogonal sequence. So now we will see the next part. So next, C3 is taken as C1 plus 1 plus 1 minus 1 minus 1, and C4 is taken as what I'm saying, plus 1 minus 1 -1 +1. I insist that you should write all these codes on the sheet of paper which you have brought with pen or pencil, right? Make it fast. Write these sequences immediately. So these are called chip sequences. You got the idea? And these are called orthogonal sequence. The meaning of the word orthogonal sequence is if you multiply any chip sequence with any other chip, different chip sequence, I'll be always getting the result as 0. If I multiply same what I'm say chipset with itself, I'll be getting the result as 4. So have you noted down, everyone? All the chip sequence, have you noted down? 4 chip sequence from 4 stations. This is station 1 chip sequence, station 2 chip sequence, station 3 chip sequence, and this is station 4 chip sequence. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I go further?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Now here, this was the concept. Now C1 is a data. It might be a 0, it might be a 1. Here D2 may be data which may be 0, which may be 1. Here this D3 may be a data which is 0 or 1. This also may be a 0 and 1. This I got D1 multiplied by C1. C1 value I know. D2 multiplied by C2, I know the value. D3 multiplied by C3, I know the value. D4 multiplied by C4, I know the value. Put all these values together, and what I mean to say, I'll be getting this is the data, complex data, which is passing through the channel. So here data is nothing but which is passing through the channel. I'll be getting the value as D1 C1, D2 C2, D3 C3, D4 C4. So when I multiplied, suppose station 3 wants to recover what data was sent by station 1. You got the idea, station 1. So this station 3, what it will do is, since this particular entire data is passing through the common channel, it will take that. It will take the entire data, and this particular data can be read by all the stations, station 1, station 2, station 3, station 4. You got the idea. It can be read by all the stations equally well. Now, station 3 wants to recover what data has been sent by station 1. So it multiplies by chip code C1, because chip code of station 1 is C1. So this complex data, what it has got, which is passing through the channel, it was recovered, multiplied by C1. So I'll be getting the value of nothing but D1 multiplied by C1 into C1, and D2 multiplied by C2 into C1, D3 multiplied by C1 into C3, and D4 multiplied D4 into C4 into C1. But I know that since these are orthogonal codes, orthogonal codes definition is, if a chip code is multiplied by with any other chip code, I'll be always getting 0. So C1 into C2 will be 0, C3 into C1 will be 0, C4 into C1 will be 0, and I just now I have shown that C1 into C1 will always result in what I am meant to say 4. So 4 into D1. If I divide this result by 4, I have recovered the data which was sent by station 1. Have you understood the basic concept here? How exactly any station can recover the data sent by any other station if it knows the chip code of that station, and complex data what is passing through the channel. If these two are available, it can always recover the data. Have you understood, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Basic simple mathematics I have explained. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood? Okay, fine. So can I go to next slide?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now these are the chip sequence. C1 is this chip sequence, and C2 is this chip sequence, C3 is this chip sequence, and C4 as you have written. So we will see simple operations. So if chip sequence is made of n elements, then n is the number of stations. If I have chip sequence here containing 4 elements, then I know that there are 4 stations. If I am having here chip sequence having 12 values, 1 to 12 values, so I know that there are 12 stations which are transmitting its data. If it is a chip sequence is containing 16 values here, so I know that the number of stations is equal to exactly 16. So this is if a chip sequence comprises of n elements, so it will indicate directly the number of stations as n. Now, I can do simple multiplication. If any chip sequence I have taken, suppose I have taken chip sequence C3, so multiplied by 2. C3 multiplied by 2, I'll be getting plus 2, plus 2, minus 2, minus 2. Because C3, so 2C3, basically this is the value of 2C3. 2 multiplied by C3 is this value. Now, similarly, you got the idea. I just wanted to tell you, if I take any chip sequence and multiply it by itself. So here I take C3 multiplied by C3, C3 multiplied by C3, so plus 1, minus 1, minus 1, which is C3. So it is C3 multiplied by C3 means plus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So it gives me plus 1 into plus 1, I'll get plus 1. Plus 1 into plus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. End result is always 4. And if I multiply, chip sequence C3 with that of C1, I can take any two. If I multiply any two different chip sequence, I should always get the value as 0. I should always get the value as 0. So suppose I have taken C3 multiplied with C1, multiplied with C1. So I'll be getting plus 1 multiplied with plus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. Plus 1 multiplied with plus 1, I'll be getting plus 1. Minus 1 multiplied with plus 1 is minus 1. Minus 1 multiplied with plus 1 is minus 1. End result is 0. That is why it is called orthogonal sequence. So this is the basic rule. Now there is another one rule. How do I add two chip sequences? Because we have to find the final result as C1, D1, C2, D2, C3, D3. So we have seen the concept of multiplication here. So using the concept of multiplication, I can get the values, and